Hello students, welcome to your computer class. I hope you are fit and fine. Now in today's class we will learn user-defined method. So what is user-defined method? We are user when we define method in a program, that is called user-defined method. Another type of method is also there, that is system-defined method. Means the Java supplied inbuilt function which we can use in our program. Like one function is println function, without which we cannot complete our program. Because for our program always we need to display the result of the program or the outcome of the program, and for that we need system.out.println function. Other system defined methods are in string class char, substring, index of, to uppercase, to lowercase. In math class pow function, max function, min function, abs function. So in character class is letter, is digits. This like many system defined functions are there which we use in our program frequently. Now to learn user defined methods we need to know the elements of a method. So let me write that. Access specifier, modifier, return type, function name, parameters, and then in second bracket function statements. So this is the first line of any function definition, which is called function prototype. This line is function prototype, which has 5 elements: access specifier, modifier, return type, function name, and parameters. Now let us discuss about these elements. First is access specifier. What is that? This is the element which provides the accessibility of the method, or it controls the access of this method or function. In Java we have 4 types of access specifier. First is public. This public access specifier indicates that the function is public property. From anywhere, anytime we can access this method if it is declared with public keyword. Next is private. This private access specifier indicates that the method is totally private property of the class. That means from inside the class you can access this function. It cannot be accessed from the outside of the class. So this access specifier provides the most restricted level access of a function. And it is also used to implement the encapsulation of OOP, means object oriented programming. Next is protected. This is another keyword. This protected access specifier indicates that the function can be accessed by all the subclasses of the class in which the function is declared and defined. That means protected means all child class of my class can access my function, and my friends class also. The friend class means the classes those are present in the same package along with this class where this function is declared as protected member. So these are the 3 keywords we can use here at the place of access specifier. And access specifier is optional. If we don't specify the accessibility of any function using these 3 keywords, then by default the accessibility of the function will be friendly or package, sometimes called default. This friendly, package, or default accessibility means the function can be accessed by all its friend classes. And what is friend class? We know the classes those are present in the same package along with this class where this function is declared. Okay. So that means among all these access specifier, the private access specifier provides most restricted level access, whereas public access specifier provides the least restricted level access. And friendly and package access specifier almost provides the same accessibility where all friend class can access, but protected functions can be accessed by all the subclasses of the class in which the function is declared with protected keyword. Maybe that class is present in different package. Understand? Now we will discuss about modifier. So this is also one optional element just like access specifier. See, access specifier, modifier, and parameters. These 3 are optional element in function prototype. That's why I have written them in italic. But return type, function name, and parenthesis, these are very much essential for any function. So we will not learn much about this modifier because modifiers are not there in our syllabus except one modifier. So total 6 modifiers are there. Only we will learn static modifier. So what is that? Static. So this is the keyword which makes the function class function. That means without creating object of a class, we can access this function by class name. Like math class, all functions are static functions. That's why always we use class name math to access them, like math.pow, math.max, math.min, math.sale, math.float. In all wrapper classes also functions are static. Like in character class, to uppercase, is lowercase, is digit, is white space. Then in integer class, to string, parsing, all are static functions. But in string class, the functions are not static. That's why always we use object of a string class to access the functions of string class. We don't write string.length, we write s.length. So s is an object of string class. So we are using object to call the functions or to access the function. So s.length, s.character, s.substring, s.index of. Understand? Now next is return type. This is very much important for any function. Can be of two types. First one is void for non-returnable function. So it indicates that a function cannot return anything. And another one is non-void function. That is for returnable function. So here we can write any valid data type, can be primitive types or non-primitive type. Generally a function returns its outcome to the caller. So that time what value the function is returning, that will be the return type of this function. So if function returns integer value, we will write int. If function string value, we will write string. So string is non-primitive type, int is primitive type. If function returns a double value, we will write double. And in that case, in function, one keyword is essential, that is return keyword. So return, then the value to be returned or the value of a variable to be returned. Now we will come to function name, which is what? Identifier, a token of Java program. Function name is the name to identify this function. Like how to identify you, how I will call you, by your name. Now here what name we will specify for the function, that name will be used to invoke the function. If function name is ABC, we will use ABC to call it. Like the length function, length is the name of the function, so to call that function we use what? Length. And for math.pow, we are using pow name to call the function. Now next is parameter, which is again one optional element. This parenthesis is very important after the function name, but parameter we will use or not, that depends on our requirements. So this parameter is used to pass one or more values to the function from outside of the function, and this value function will use internally to perform its operation. Now how to specify parameters for a function? We have to declare variable for that. Now what type of value function needs to receive, so that type of variable you have to declare here. If function needs 2 or more values, we have to declare 2 or more variables with different data types. Like if a function called ABC needs 2 value, one is integer value, another one is character value, we have to declare 2 variables. First one is integer variable to take integer value, and the second one will be the character variable to take character value. So these two are parameters. Now as this function has 2 parameters, first one is integer parameter, second one is character parameter, to call that function we have to pass 2 values. First one will be integer value and second one will be character value. So I am calling this function from other part of the program or from other program. Here first parameter is I, integer type. Here I am passing one integer value for this I variable. Step 12. Now second one is character parameter. So for that I have to pass one character value in single quotes like V. Now here we are passing 2 values. So instead of these 2 values, we can pass the values of 2 variables also. But remember, here we cannot declare any variable at the time of this function call. Whereas variable declaration is required for the parameter at the time of function definition in prototype. So these 2 are parameter, these 2 are also parameter. So these 2 are called formal parameter. And these 2 parameters are called actual parameters. So formal parameters are the parameters, they appear in function definition statement, whereas actual parameters always appear in function call statement. So actual parameters sends value for the formal parameters, and the formal parameters are the parameters through which function will receive values from its call. So these are the parameters through which function will receive these 2 values, which will be used internally in the program. That means actually function will be executed with these 2 values, that's why they are called actual value. So formal parameters obtains its value from actual parameter. So what is the main difference between formal parameter and actual parameter? First one is formal parameters appear in function definition statement, whereas actual parameters appear in function call statement. Second difference is that formal parameters receive value from actual parameter and actual parameters supply value to the formal parameters. So these two are main differences between formal parameters and actual parameters. Over. Now after this, the function definition will come, which may consist of multiple Java statements. Okay. So today up to this much. In our next class we will learn multifunction programs. So wait for your next class. Till then, bye.